Coming in on the lady from Empanita and my lady friend from Empanita, Alex McConnell. It is Game Bites episode 33. It's been an exciting day for lots of reasons, but before we kick off this episode, I got a little riddle for you, Alex. What do you call an Italian suppository?
Oh man, that's not a.
Or got you thinking.
I don't know. I know how to get one out though.
An innuendo.
Oh,
I'm gonna try to do something spicy like that every episode. Alex, how you doing, my friend?
I'm trying to think of a plumber Mario joke for getting that stuck suppositories out, but I'm doing great.
Piranha plant. E.
That sounds like a condition.
Sounds like another way to treat hemorrhoids. But with that, we are back. Today's been an exciting day. It's been an interesting week. We had a new Nintendo Direct today with a lot of information on the new Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which I'm excited to talk about. I wasn't really excited for that Direct, and then now I am. Starfield is out and it is going to be released to the masses in exactly 1 minute. So that's going to be something I can't wait to get to. And there's been some other interesting gaming news. We got a release date for the PlayStation Portal. Embracer Group is letting go of a studio and lots of jobs and all kinds of exciting things, Alex. But yeah, I just want to see how you're doing. Make sure you're doing okay, Alex, before we get started on our weekly endeavor of Is It Banging? Anything exciting coming from your life this past week?
Oh, in the past or like in the next week? Are we going
Whatever,
hindsight or future sight?
both and whatever you want to talk about.
Yo, I'm 33 years old, so I'm
It's
excited that I'm getting new tires on my car tomorrow.
wait,
After
when was did I miss your birthday?
50,000 miles. Uh, I'm just gonna say yes. Yeah, you did. You weren't there. It was cold, and I wasn't alone, but it was cold, and your warmth was not present.
All right, I'm sending
Um,
you a gift right now. It's going to be an anime pillow waifu version of me.
we're technically closer to my next birthday than we are to my previous. My half birthday was a couple of weeks ago. You're fine, dude. Um,
Sent
but
you a
no.
gift.
Oh, it was a gift card for Bed Bath and Beyond. I just got an email. Oh,
Mm-mm,
that was
mm-mm.
quick, dude. I don't understand the necessity of this. I get it.
Anyways,
I'll remove
anyways,
some of this hair from my body. Um, but in the past week now, I've just been playing Hollow Knight and Sniper Elite 5. That's all that's been going on.
is your tattoo able to be seen by the masses? For those listening, you can't see it, but for those watching, can you show your tattoo?
Nope.
Is it
It
because
has
of
currently been off screen for the past 15 minutes. It's on this arm. No, because it's healing, but like it's exactly 1 week, so it looks like a bunch of dead skin wrapped around and covering as a blanket the actual tattoo. It's a mess with, just has it's covered in like a vitamin D polymer, like cocoa butter.
mm, my
So it looks
wife's
pretty nasty right now.
my wife's using cocoa butter right now for her belly to help mitigate stretch marks. Is your wife doing that?
Joy, what's the name of that? What's that stuff you rub on your belly for like 45 minutes every day when you come home from work and then right before bed? What's the name of that stuff? Yeah, it's called Burt's Bees Mama. It's like a little oil.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's just doing this,
She's just
running
looking at you.
circles on her belly. Yeah. She walks around holding it now because she lost her belly belt, which all belts are probably on bellies except for car belts and timing belts. But no, she walks around like she's palming a basketball, ready to like dribble hard on someone.
Allen Iverson style. I like it. Yeah,
Yeah, she's
Brianna
just palming it.
Brianna Brianna comes to bed every night and she smells like this honey butter, cocoa butter. I don't know what it is. And I like get hungry every time she lays next to me because it just smells so good.
Does she
And
use Palmer's cocoa butter?
I don't know what it is. I'm not in the bathroom when she does her night
Dude,
routine. I'm in bed. But when she gets in the bed, I'm just right away. I get real close to her because I'm a food guy. So once I smell something sweet like that, I like instinctively, without control, my body moves closer. And she's also got this side pillow, pregnant pillow thing right now.
yeah,
Then she
yeah,
pushes me
yeah,
away because she's like, I
yeah.
need to have the
Get
space.
away.
I'm like, you smell too good.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
what?
You smell like spaghetti sauce. You've been rubbing it on your body.
Did you see that?
Um,
You smell like tomato and onions.
yeah, you smell delicious.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So no, but Palmer's cocoa butter is something that like after I got like my third tattoo when I was like 21, tattoo guy said, "Hey, yeah, this is actually the best stuff for it. Just not the best stuff, but he's like, just go get this stuff." And that smell is so good. I love opening the Palmer's cocoa butter and like putting it on my tattoo. And it became a thing where that kind of like Pavloved me into anytime I smell that, I want to get another tattoo, or like I want to get another tattoo just so I can like use that stuff for 3 weeks straight. And yeah, it's weird. Yeah, so that's why I get tattoos. So I was wondering if you're finally subjected to that smell because it's delicious.
It's delicious. It is delicious. And speaking of good things, Kirk the Gamer came in with the raid party here. Kirk the Gamer is a
Oh
wonderful
no.
person. Thank you for coming in. You're joining Game Bites episode 33. We're currently talking about our wife's pregnancy routines at night and the cocoa butter that they rub on their bellies that then also increases their appetite. So That's a conversation you might not. What's going on here? But that's going on. Kirk's great. If anyone isn't following Kirk the Gamer, please do. He's getting into the game space. But if you listen to Giant Bomb, or if you listen to Game Mess in the mornings with Jeff Grubb, you might recognize him. He actually is has a background in legal space, in law, and he gave a great episode with Jeff Grubb on Giant Bomb a few months ago now, talking about the Microsoft Activision stuff whenever it was in the court. So
I know about that.
yeah, definitely follow Kirk. He's brilliant. He's doing a lot on YouTube right now, and he's playing a lot of Marvel Snap on Twitch, which, by the way, he actually complimented and said he really liked the section we did last week on Marvel Snap. And I was like, that's all you. And I have to say,
it was me ranting for like 15 minutes.
But he followed it. I was like, I don't understand any of this, but gamers do.
Well, that's good.
So just with that, Alex, just so you know, I have been playing about 7 or 8 matches of Marvel Snap every night now. So
ooh,
yeah, it's been.
What kind of deck are you using?
I have no idea.
Destroy. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Whatever I started the game with.
No sense.
I got Quicksilver, I got Iron Man, I got Hulk, I got Cyclops, I got.
Okay, that's a beginner's deck. That's like a low ladder, 0 to 50. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's where you're at.
Yeah, I'm just around 50 right now, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, we got another raid here from Kirk.
Do his introduction again.
Everyone, Kirk the Gamer. Thank you, Kirk. Yeah, thanks for being.
Space.
Yeah. If anyone needs a lawyer to get them out of any shady business at night, I don't think Kirk could help you, but I can, and I play a lawyer on Twitch, so.
Or help navigate the intricacies of a multi-billion-dollar acquisition.
Yes.
Kirk's your man.
And in just gaming in general, I enjoyed his Madden review. I think you would too, because he was not necessarily kind to it.
Oh, then Kirk's my new favorite person. I'll just talk with him next week.
There you go. Yeah. Just he'll replace me. I'll have to grow the beard out, but I think he can do it. Alex, how do you feel about playing another episode of Is This Bangin'?
I'm down. Let's go.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Is it banging? Italian or Mexican cuisine?
That's not fair.
Why?
Both have a time and place.
Yeah, you got to shoot one and you keep the other alive. That's it.
Oh my gosh. I got to marry and kill?
Yes.
Which one do I... okay. Oh my gosh. That's unfair. I'm going to say Italian.
Okay. You made the right choice. Not because I'm Italian.
You got Game Bites next week?
Yeah, you survived. Yeah, I have to go with that. I don't think I'm allowed to say Mexican. I will say Mexican is probably my second most favorite cuisine.
Yeah, I will admit that was a tough decision.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. You know what? You survived that time.
And I think one reason.
Go ahead. Yeah, you can rationalize it.
Especially when I'm training for marathons and stuff, carb loading is a big part of that. I don't think anyone Mexican food loads before a race. I don't think that's the best way to do it. I do carb loading with pasta. I'll go get a delicious meal the night before, actually the whole week before, and carb load. So that you feel like a giant marshmallow full of calories that you just burn in like an hour and a half to 3 hours.
So now I'm thinking about the consequence if you do Mexican load before a race.
I've seen pictures of hypothetical scenarios.
Okay.
But no, I don't think anyone's ever been like, dude, I did a strict Taco Bell and shredded beef wrapped in tortilla diet for a week.
He did the shredded beef run.
Yeah, I do a lot of things very quick now, but running is not one of them.
Oh, man. Well, some type of running.
There it is.
There it is. All right. Our next, is it banging? This is going to be very food related, but kind of different from Mexican or Italian cuisine. Red or green grapes?
Green.
Okay.
Same with apples. Yeah.
Yep. I go green, and I'm going to get specific here. Have you ever had the cotton candy grapes?
I don't like cotton candy artificially. Wait, cotton candy is artificial. I don't like cotton candy flavored things.
So it's not cotton candy flavored. It's a strain.
You just lied to me then.
Well, I didn't lie. They named it. Okay.
It tastes like cotton candy. It tastes more like a lemon. I don't know where they just call it that.
It tastes more like a baked burrito. No. It's just a really sweet green grape.
Baked burrito?
An enchilada.
Oh, okay.
It's a really sweet green grape that's popular in July and August. Anytime we're on vacation, my dad always buys a big bushel of it. And then I freaking I go at it, and he gets bummed a bit because he's like, I bought that for me. You said you didn't want any. And I was like, I thought I didn't want any, but I can't resist the cotton candy grapes.
Do these come in a bag labeled Jelly Belly and are very hard, and he's just been lying to you?
They got a picture of Ronald Reagan on there.
Oh, that's the right stuff then.
Yeah.
You know, your weird descriptions of food that taste different than what they look like reminds me of those white strawberries that taste like pineapple. It's just like I don't know what you're talking about. And
Okay.
then there was another thing I was just thinking of. I don't have to come back, but yeah,
Okay. Now I think you're
green
high.
grapes.
There's no such
Mhm.
thing as white strawberries.
Yeah, yeah. They're white strawberries with the red seeds. It looks weird. Hold on, there was something else I was thinking, but keep going.
Chat, I'm gonna ask that we pray for Alex. I think he's having a stroke. With that, the next
You
one.
don't like toast?
Oh,
Burnt? Are you
did you,
burning toast?
did you see that? Toast I just had.
Yeah, yeah. You just did Inception on so many things for me this week.
Oh,
She's like,
Dragon Ball
oh my god,
Z.
my toast.
Yeah. All right. So also, cake or pie? Rapid fire. Go.
What is cheesecake?
Ooh. Well, it's got
That's a
cake in the
debate.
name. Chat, what do
I
you
know,
guys
but
think? It's got
it looks
cake
like
in.
pie, doesn't it?
It's
Looks
got
like
a
pie.
pie
It's got little
crust.
crust. Yeah.
So,
That's your fusion.
gosh darn
That's
it.
Goten and Trunks right down the middle.
Now,
Cheesecake.
this is a good one. So let's break this down a bit. We're gonna talk about video games, but we're gonna get real in depth on the nature of pie versus cake. Do all pies have a filling? Like, if we can think of all the pies we can think of, is there any one that causes us to go, "What about cheesecake?" Like, is there any version of that with pie that's named pie?
Pumpkin pie? Pecan pie?
Darn it!
Like those are the same textures. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Just like that little, like a little grid of crust on the top with a bunch of fruit inside. And yeah.
Yeah. Cheesecake's a good answer, but it's got cake in the name. I can't. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go with pie
If it's a
personally.
Venn diagram, it's just cheesecake. I want
Okay.
cheesecake.
Okay. Yeah, but cheesecake it is.
I honestly, I honestly would consider cheesecake a pie, but whatever that is, because pumpkin pie is my second favorite, so I think it's still a pie.
Fruit says, "What about cream pies?" It's a good question.
So we were talking about
Or
pregnant
or
women putting oil on their
Marianne's.
bellies. Yeah, just pregnancies and
All right.
I got a Krispy Kreme. Yes.
I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have said anything. All right.
oatmeal's breakfast. I don't know. It's not a pie.
All right. That's it for Is It Bangin'?
Yeah, go play Starfield. Oh, I thought you meant for the podcast. But yeah, just we're banging.
Prude says no, like a chocolate cream pie. They are a thing, and I know, but I gave
Oatmeal
that to.
cream pies.
I know how Alex works. I love oatmeal cream pies. Oatmeal cream pies. I would. The things I would do if I could eat oatmeal cream pies and not become a diabetic. There's a long list, and you would be surprised about the things I would give up to make that true.
You're
But
just getting okay.
yeah, I mean, our friendship not on that list, but some of my other friends from high school, maybe. You
I'm
know,
treading lightly here, but there's a lot of sharks swimming around me, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
I respect, and I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, so let's transition a bit to get into gaming news for the week. Crobat agrees. Love of oatmeal cream pies. Oatmeal cream pies are fantastic. I've never made them homemade, but I want to. So I want to.
We're gonna stop right there, guys. This one time I was at Mark's house and he invited me over to. I think he was actually it was something to do with tacos because he was making a guacamole.
I don't think
And
this.
he's talking to me. He asked me to chop the onions, and I was like, sure. But he used a white onion rather than a red onion. I thought that was a little pungent. But I cut the onions, and then while he was talking to me, I watched this grown man try to peel the skin off of an avocado. He got most of the way before he started complaining that, like, why is this so difficult to peel right now? And I was like, why are you peeling this avocado? You're supposed to just cut it in half and remove the seed and scoop it out.
Yes,
But
I do that now.
I know what it looks. I know what a grown man digging his fingernails under the skin of an avocado to try to peel it looks like because of Mark. So, you making homemade oatmeal cream pies is not on the top of my list of things I want to see you attempt.
All right. I am both shamed and surprised that you remember this story because I don't. Was this when we were in college?
Nah, it was at your house, and
Oakmont,
yeah,
Verona.
but
Okay.
I'm doxing your past self. If anyone goes back in time, you are screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was in your kitchen. You know, you told me to stop wrestling
Uh,
your dog and chop the onions.
that's when I had the eggnog for you.
Sounds like a euphemism, but yeah.
All right. So shaking your head because you never got that eggnog. Let's get into the news here. Let's talk about the Nintendo Direct today. Alex, did you watch this Direct? It was specifically focused on Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Yeah, it's not targeted towards people that live in on the west coast of the United States. I was at work.
I was at work too.
How dare you? I'm going to tell everyone.
Go ahead. It was 15 minutes
No,
long. It's like a bathroom
you-
break.
Go ahead, give me your direct rundown.
No, so it was when I first heard that. I mean, there was rumors a week or so ago that we were getting a new direct, and once again, once you get rumors about a new direct with where we're at in the console life cycle, and the rumors about a new 2024 console, people start to go, "Oh my gosh, what could it be about?" And no, it wasn't about a brand new Naruto game on the Nintendo Switch or anything that you would be excited about. But it was about Super Mario Wonder. So people were kind of went from high expectations to, oh, that's kind of disappointing. But I have to say, I'm glad they did it because my short headline here is it seems like Nintendo is doing more with the Mario franchise, the traditional 2D franchise, than they have done in, I want to say, since Super Mario World. I'm not saying the game hasn't changed over time, but in terms of the jump I feel like they're making, they're adding a lot of things to it. One, I'll say this, it's got a lot of online play. Like it's basically has a Dark Souls element to online. You know how you play Dark Souls and there's other people in the world, you'll see where they're dying and all that stuff.
You can like jump in, jump out.
You can connect your game online and see all these other ghosts that are active players playing that same level. And if you die and become a ghost, which happens when you're playing local co-op, but if you're playing online, you'll become a ghost, and those online players can help revive you. Also, they could set down little stand-in cutouts of themselves on that level permanently that can also help revive you. So it's kind of like a strand game. Like
I was
there's
gonna say they just strand gamed Mario, didn't they?
they strand game Mario. So there's that element. There's obviously some new power-ups and some classic power-ups. One change I think is interesting. The 2D Mario games since the Wii basically have had that co-op chaos where if you and I are playing and I run into you, I can throw you off the ledge or you could throw me off the ledge. Like we collide with each other. There's no collision between simultaneous players now. They've gotten rid of that. And I think that's probably intent with their larger design goals. Which some people might miss that because that was kind of fun back in the day to throw your, father or mother off a ledge or your wife, something like that. So that's gone. There's the new power-ups. There's badges that they're introducing in the game, which essentially allow permanent attributes to be assigned. Like you can't lose it if you get hit, based on the level basis. So every time you go into a level, you can assign a new badge, and you unlock badges by completing elements of the game. But there's badges that give you special types of jumps. There's badges that make you invisible. There's badges that make you faster. Like there's so many ways to modify the gameplay. It right away, I get the sense that there's just a lot of replayability in this game. I think there's about 7 worlds or so. Yoshi's gonna be in it. Yoshi and that little purple robber guy from the new Super Mario Brothers franchise. I forget his name. I think I know it, but I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong and I embarrass myself.
You talking about Waluigi?
No, not him. Nabbit. Thank you, Prut. Nabbit. Yoshi and Nabbit are in it, and they're both kind of I want to say the beginner option because Yoshi and Nabbit, when you play as them, they don't take damage if you get hit by an enemy, but they will still die if you fall off a cliff or fall into a pit. So that, you can play as Yoshi. We have confirmed that every character, Daisy, Peach, Toad, Nabbit, Yoshi, all of those characters do turn into elephants. Yeah. And on top of that, you can ride Yoshi as an elephant. I've never seen an elephant on a dinosaur before, but now I'd like to think that's how it actually happened back in the day. So yeah, so there's just a lot of interesting things they're doing with it. The worlds themselves aren't linear, so there isn't like there is like a world 1, level 1, but you actually have freedom to decide, like, I want to play this level first or this level first. Like, you kind of can roam back and forth between them. It kind of reminds me of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I feel like Kirby and the Forgotten Land was kind of like that. I may be wrong, but where you were in the overworld map, but you could kind of roam between the levels without following a specific line or so forth. I'm trying to remember some other things. And again, this is all over the internet. It's a 15-minute long interview. Yeah, the 12 characters: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Yellow Toad, Blue Toad, Toadette, Yoshi, Red Yoshi, Yellow Yoshi, Light Blue Yoshi, and Nabbit. Again, that last ones are designed for the younger players. But yeah, there's wall climbing, there's a dolphin kick badge that allows you to swim fast. There's a grappling vine. It reminded me of Celeste. So yeah, just the local co-op, the online modes, the Wonder Seed power up too. It kind of reminds me of the Super Mario World, like finding the like it seems like once you get a Wonder Seed, the goal of that Wonder Seed is to direct you to a Wonder Flower, is to make you find a Wonder Seed, which you then collect to unlock certain things in the game. And anytime you get a Wonder Flower, that power up, from what I gather, doesn't go away until you collect a seed. So like each Wonder Flower has a specific impact for each level. It's not like a fire power up or an elephant power up where you can then go do whatever you want with it. Like,
And it's not like a Castlevania mechanism where that's just used for traversal mechanics in other places. Like going
correct.
back.
It's custom per the level. Like you never know what's going to happen. It kind of basically unlocks a specific event in that level, and everything just gets real crazy. And as you saw in that TikTok that I sent you, that that YouTube, that it also somehow allows Bowser to perform the Dragon Ball Z fusion technique with this castle. So that's kind of cool. Goku and Vegeta could have used that when they were in that tournament, huh? Anyways.
Yes, they didn't because no one else was cheating. Oh no, someone did. But they used the Vitara fusion. I was gonna say they only do that when someone else does it, because otherwise it's not fair. Someone did use the fusion. In the manga, Gohan took care of her. In the anime, Goku did.
Okay, so they're kind of like the Miyagi dojo style of defense first. They're not going to resort to that aggressive take until they really need to. I've been watching a lot of Cobra Kai lately.
They have time to.
Yeah. I just discovered that show, and I have a problem. So yeah, that's the direct. Alex, I look at this game and I go, this game looks extremely polished. It looks like it's doing more than we could want with a 2D Mario game. I'm excited for it. I definitely think
this sounds, yeah, my interest is even higher now. It looks awesome.
Yeah, and again, to that point, the art style, it's a fun art style. Yeah,
it just looks like it's going to be throwing curveballs at you constantly, which just keeps it interesting.
Yeah, and again, this is a new voice actor for Mario, and I will say there's new Mario lines. I forget exactly what he said, but "Wowzy Zowzy," I feel like is one of the lines you hear.
That just sounds like someone doing a spin-off of Mario. Like,
wowzy that?
Hey, what's that thing he always says? It's like "Wowzy Zowzy." No, I don't think that's it, but you got the right heart. You got the heart.
Yeah, you got the heart behind it, so that's what matters most. Yeah, so again, October 20th, same day as Spider-Man 2. What game do you think you're going to play first?
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is going to be installing, and while it's installing, I could probably put in Super Mario Wonder and play.
Yeah, I'm going to not put that game down. I'm just going to beat it, and I'm going to try to do it in like 20 hours.
You could platinum in like a weekend, I bet.
Yeah, but did last time.
I know. So, cool. Yeah. So that was that big news. In other news, we got 2 news from PlayStation. Did you see the PlayStation news, Alex?
Just the Portal information or the Plus?
Yes.
I saw the Plus information.
Yeah, so the PlayStation Portal is going to be released in select markets on November 15th, specifically available for pre-order now at the PlayStation Direct store for US, UK, France, Germany, Austria, Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Italy, Spain, and Portugal. And it will be available on September 29th from other select retailers as well. So again, that's $200. I might check it out just for the sake of us having some coverage on it. You know, I don't know if I'm not really excited about it, but the idea of if it works well, there may be a price point where it drops in sale where I go, you should check it out. But if it feels laggy, like if it feels like I am compromised at all,
Hmm.
because that was the PlayStation Vita. You could play a game on the PlayStation Vita from your PS4, and it was okay. But then there were moments where it was pretty rough. And at the end of the day, the PlayStation Vita did so many other good things where the Vita is still great. But this, it's kind of, I don't know. So we'll see. I'm kind of indifferent at the moment. So
There was when I was remote playing to my laptop here um, for a while there, but it was because I was playing games that it wouldn't latency didn't matter at all. And I wonder if there's, you know, it's got to still be a small crowd of people who really don't even care about latency. Like remote play, the latency doesn't matter. And for example, I was playing Midnight Suns. Who cares if there's a slight delay in your button press or what you're seeing,
yeah,
Because like everything is, you have to click, that game's turn based. But like,
Octopath
uh,
Traveler 2.
exactly, I did the same exact thing. Things like that don't matter, but uh, trying to play a From Software game or trying to play a shooter,
Mm,
absolutely not.
Armored Core.
I just didn't. I just didn't play it on the remote.
Yeah. So it's again, it could be good. But that's the thing. Like, it can't just be good for a handful of game
I know,
genres, right? So it definitely has to offer a premium experience. I would even say at that
especially
price
for
point,
being
$200.
especially for being Sony's first attempt at a handheld in over a decade, or at
2015,
least a decade.
16. Yeah. When did that come
Yeah,
out?
like almost a decade. And this is for it to only cater to maybe some people is just
Yeah,
strange.
11 years. PS Vita came out in 2012. That's crazy.
Hmm.
I'd still play a Vita right now.
Yeah, I still have it. I refuse to get rid of it because that's my Dissidia Duodecium machine.
God bless
Final
you.
Fantasy. Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you.
Getting it checked out. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it's an infection. Um, so yeah, you kind of hinted at the other news. The PlayStation Plus program is now increasing in price by 35%. So let me pull that up. Currently, PlayStation Plus Essential costs $59.99 for a year, extras 99, and premium was 119. And it's going to be going to 79.99, 134.99, and 159.99 in those
And you're
respects.
probably thinking, what am I paying for that'll give me, 35% more stuff? And the answer is nothing right now. There is no change. They keep saying it'll continue to allow us bring you great stuff and good operation, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like when gas, and you pay for a tank of gas every week, and all of a sudden it shoots up for 35 cents or 35%, and you're like, it's still the same gas, just to keep my car running, but it seems like you're charging because I have to pay it anyways.
Yeah.
No change.
And correct me if I'm wrong, cloud saves are behind that, right? Like for
Yes, cloud savings behind that, and any form of multiplayer online play is behind that. Even if
and
you don't want all that other noise, like free games that you don't play or discounts that you don't use, you just can't play online with friends.
now
A lot of games rule out couch co-op. You have to have online just to play with someone in the other room.
now
Behind it's gated.
I'm not sure about this, but I know that's got to be related to like Xbox. I'm sure has something similar, and I know Nintendo's as well is similar, but also Nintendo's is like, I mean, we're on a family plan together. We're paying like $3 a year for their ultimate package
Yeah.
altogether. Xbox Game Pass, I can't. So they used to have Game Pass. They used to have Xbox Live Gold, but they got rid of that and they recently consolidated that into Game Pass. But I believe their Gold kind of had the similar barriers of like you pay this much a month and you'll get your cloud saves and your online play and all that. Because PlayStation used to have free online play back in the
Mm-hmm.
PS2, PS3 days, right? For a good bit.
Yeah.
And then they changed that. Um, and
But it
there's
used to be $20 a month or $20 a year also.
yes, and yes, yeah, and again, you're getting a lot of. Hopefully, they add a lot more games to their library. Hopefully, this is a sign that they want to make this a better competitor to Game Pass. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, but they didn't announce that with the price increase, so it's a little tone deaf.
True. I would agree, especially in this point in time where
Where
the
yeah,
people are struggling. Yeah,
every
every
asset of our life, everyone's just price gouging.
Do I want milk, eggs, or PS Plus? Well, gotta feed people.
Well,
Yeah, and
by
it's
the
great.
time you get to the store, it'll all be double the price anyway, so
It's
might as well
true.
grab it now.
That's why you gotta milk. Oh, never mind. All right, so that's disappointing. I would say. Also, some disappointing news. This impacts a friend of mine. I actually want to reach out to him to see if he'd be available to come onto the show. But and I'm gonna caveat this with this was announced today at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the exact same time the embargo lifted for Starfield reviews. So talk about a PR strategy. But the exact same time that the embargo lifted for reviews, Embracer Group announced that they were shutting down Volition Deep Silver Studios, which, to be fair, their most recent release was the Saints Row 2022 game. I want to say did not receive stellar reviews. Um, a lot of people that I know are longtime fans of the series felt like it didn't quite live up to what the original series is. Um, that being said, they released a game called Chorus as well, which I think surprised a lot of people. It reviewed in the mid to high 80s. It was kind of like a Star Fox game, but it had nothing to do with animals. It was more mature themed. And they've released a handful of other games. And so Embracer Group just announced today that they're shutting down. I did check in on my friend who works there's LinkedIn page, and he did announce that he lost his job. So I could tell you he lost his job. He's hopefully finds another one, but it's hard to there's a lot of inconsistency and instability in the gaming space if you work in that world. So much of some YouTube reviewer or a bunch of people on Steam that down review your game or impact a Metacritic score could basically impact your bonus eligibility, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if we've ever talked about that here, but the fact that some companies tie bonuses to Metacritic scores, I think is
Yeah.
malarkey. But yeah. Anyways, this is sad news. This impacts a lot of people. Um, yeah, yeah, 30 years old. That's how long the studio's been here. So Volition's gone. Sad, sad, sad day.
They also made Red Faction.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was had a good thing going for a while.
Red Faction was
But
pretty
yeah, they were just
popular.
yeah,
Yeah,
mid 2000s especially, to late 2000s.
they were huge at
But
that
yeah,
point.
they were just doing Saints Row since 2006, 5 or 6 games.
Yeah,
Mm.
and honestly, companies that are in position like that, um, it's crazy to think about that you're only one bad release away from no longer being a company. Now,
Yeah.
now when Bracer Group themselves, they recently lost. They had some potential huge deals in the works that then purchasers or investors backed out. So this could be a in relation to that. I think there was a major investment opportunity that frickin' Saudi Arabia was going to put into Embracer Group, which is a whole other conversation. But I think that fell through. So who knows how this company's handling its books and its capital and its strategy. But again, my opinion is, people losing jobs is never a good thing. So this just makes me sad.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so we got an increase in PS Plus, and Crobat in the chat also said earlier about PS Plus. I pay for PS Plus Essential, and this is very disappointing to me. I agree. I pay for the most premium tier just because I want access to those games. But to be fair, I'm also paying for Game Pass, and I might have to come to a point where I make a decision.
Well,
Um,
I'm definitely I think I might just cut it off entirely. I mean, I currently game with Captain Midnight sometimes in the chat. He just pops in. He'll do plus for a month when we're gonna play a game together, because 4 weeks is like on the very high end of if we're gonna play a game consistently. He'll just get it for a month because that's cheaper than paying for the full year because he uses absolutely nothing else on it.
yeah,
And it's getting to the point where I realize that I use absolutely nothing else on it. The free games that come out monthly have either no interest to me or I've already played them years ago when I actually spent money. Um, and I just don't take care of. I don't, especially when they recently restructured it or something. Yeah, they recently did a
yeah,
restructuring where what I used to be the highest tier, and then they restructured it, and it was like it put me at like the second one,
Mhm.
and I have to
Yeah.
pay a bunch more. I'm realizing I don't use any of the stuff that it says like, oh hey, if you want to play this, you just upgrade to the next one and it's free or it's heavily discounted. And I always just like, no, I'm good now. So I really might just like stop it altogether until like online comes on, like the Elden Ring DLC, where I actually need to play online. Because this just seems like when they announce a 35% increase with absolutely no change in what you're getting, or a track record of giving me anything that I use, it just doesn't seem worth it at all. And a little
Yeah.
predatory.
And
It's
35% is
like,
steep. That's steep.
I see that 35%, and all I see is all those pictures people put online of when you go to like uh, pick up something or pay for something, instead of the tips saying 10, 15, 20, now a lot of places are switching it to like 20, 25, 30, or 25, 30, 35 by default. And you otherwise you have to click custom. That 35% sound just stood out to me like that. Like, oh, hey, do you want to spend an extra 35% on your purchase?
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a tip.
Yeah, it's a I mean 35%'s not nothing. That's something you'll notice a difference in for sure. That's 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 a difference between subscribing to PS Plus and Game Pass for the year versus just subscribing to PS Plus at this point because it's going to be the same
Mm-hmm.
price. Well, at least for the month, I should say. There's a monthly difference in that cost. That's not the same for the whole year for both. Yeah, let's switch a little bit to some more cool news. I would say good news. This was a random announcement today, but we're getting a classic take on a classic series. This is coming out from Nickelodeon, Rugrats and Gameland. Did you watch Rugrats growing up, Alex?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, plenty.
I
Yeah, I
was.
remember when the movie came out in theaters. That was
I
like a
got.
big thing.
Oh, I got my Rugrats watch from Burger King. I don't know if you remember that, but they had special
Was it like
watches.
green and orange?
Yeah, there was a green one
Yeah, I
with
never
Tommy, and there was an orange one with Chucky. So this is by the same company that brought the Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl, which was also that game was released on the NES and modern systems, which was kind of a cool thing that that team did. This is by Wallride Games. And according to the game's description, this is an article from Video Game Chronicles. Chris Schulian is the author. It will feature puzzle platforming combining beloved gameplay from the NES era with modern game design. And so I don't know if you ever played the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers game on the NES, but
Mm.
that's the vibes I got from this, which was a really good platformer. It had a very cool looking, like it has. So that's the other cool thing too. It has this very cool retro look with a lot of modern, like it looks retro, but you could tell it's a new game at the same time. But at the same time, there's also this HD mode where you could basically hit a button, like a lot of games have done lately, and it completely reskins the game, and you see it in what looks like you're playing the TV show itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, I'm not expecting this game to change the world, but I like the Rugrats, and I don't know, watching this, just the music, the trailer, everything they did, it was real smartly done. And it definitely hit those nostalgia vibes. So I may check this out. I think we are getting a physical release as well as digital release, and I believe Limited Run Games is doing the physical release of it. There is nothing on a date yet, but it was just announced today, so stay tuned on that. Yeah, Alex, you think you'll check this game out?
I will. Dude, it's weird watching that trailer. You're right. It just looks like it's ripped from an NES game.
Hmm.
Like old school NES. Like even the colors and the simplicity of it. Um it kind of it's like in Ratatouille where he like takes a bite of food and it like transports him to his childhood.
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
I had another experience like that yesterday when I came home from work and we see like the ice cream truck, you know, we hear the music and we're like, this dude, like this ice cream truck just running around, but like everyone's at work. There's like no kids here or anything. And then I just like looked at Victor. I'm like, yo, you want a SpongeBob? He's like, I'll take a SpongeBob. And like I like ran out to that thing. They had SpongeBob's,
Of course they do.
but I know, but I was just
With the
joking. Like I
gumball
didn't know if
nose.
that's still a thing. Yeah, well, this one had small chocolate eyes, but no, I know the gumball nose that you're talking about. Those things looked like horror. But I took one bite of that thing, and it was a flavor like it's so strange. It's not like ice cream or sherbet or something. But I took one bite of that, and it just like I haven't tasted that since I was like 13 or something.
Yeah.
It just like transported me back. So I'm gonna be listening for that guy a couple of nights out of the week. But that Rugrats game just looks like that. It just looks like ripped right from the NES.
Yeah.
It looks so
Food,
cool.
food and smells, I feel like are very strong agents that can really trigger my
Yeah.
memory for sure. So I get you on that. That's in my neighborhood where I grew up, there's like four streets, and we would get during the summertime there would be an ice cream truck that would come up. So we would be all be playing outside during the summer, and the ice cream truck would hit our street, hit the street next door, and if you missed it, you'd run to the other street. So it's funny you bring that up because that's every year on vacation. Same thing. There's ice cream trucks still in Wildwood, New Jersey, that come down
Oh
every
yeah.
single road, and it's every night. You're like, do I want ice cream tonight? Like maybe,
You
and then
do.
like you hear the
You
truck, you're
do.
like, you know what? I'm getting that.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that this game gives off those nostalgia vibes. Hopefully, it's a well designed game too. I did play that Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl game, and it definitely looked like an NES game, and it played like an NES game in terms of how freaking difficult it was. So I did not play it for long. I was like, no, this is not Shredder's Revenge. This is freaking Battletoads. And I was like, I'm good.
Oh gosh.
Kevin Smith, if I ever see you or meet you again, I will tell you that it was too hard. This is after I met him, so I was like, maybe I should buy his game. But no, I already gave him enough money. Yeah, so that was Rugrats. In other news, RoboCop Rogue City was supposed to come out, I think, at the end of this month. This is just a RoboCop first-person shooter, and I'm bringing this up because this past weekend I watched RoboCop 2014 and then RoboCop 84, the original. Did you see 2014 RoboCop?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. I thought it was good.
It wasn't until like 2020, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I just watched it in 23, like almost 10 years later. I was like, this is decent. It's different than the original RoboCop, but I think it still uses the platform to wrestle with certain ideas.
Am I
Um,
remembering right that that one was really pretty the body horror of the whole waking up and he's now a robot. Was that in the new one any good
yes,
or was that
yeah,
okay?
yeah. Like there's this
Yeah.
scene in the
The
24.
absolute terror
Yeah,
of
there's a
it.
scene in the 2014 one where like he's freaking out, and then they
Yeah.
basically show him all he actually is left, and you just see his lungs and his heart in this like hard
Yeah.
plastic case, and yeah. So that was in there. But it had Michael Keaton, it had Samuel Jackson. There's obviously other
Of
actors.
course it did.
Gary Oldman, he's in
Oh
it.
man.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good actors in that, right? So
Gary Oldman was actually the lung that you see in that last case. He's so good.
he's a good method
He was the
actor.
heart and lung, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's very
barely
good.
recognizable.
Yeah. So I watched that, and I watched the original, and I like both. Obviously, the originals are classics. They definitely go for more of that campy satire vibe, and I respect that. Um, but so that's kind of why I was like, I'll talk about this. So I'm actually interested in this game just after watching RoboCop. I was like, this could be cool. So it is going to come out in November now. I forget the exact date, but yeah, it's another delay. I'm always for if you're delaying your game, it could really only be for the good. So we will find out more about that come Thanksgiving time. Um, what?
Nothing. You said delaying game is only a good thing, and I just can't help but I just how I cannot stop bringing it up every week. How big of a train wreck Justice League was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that game was like marketing, marketing, pay for marketing, and then like here's a showcase, and everyone was just like, no.
yeah,
And then they're like, we'll see you guys in January. We're not going to change anything, and then it's just been absolute radio silence since then.
yeah, because they
Nothing.
don't know what they're doing,
They
and
don't know what. Yeah,
yeah, they're trying to figure it out. I
they're like,
mean,
dude, you said we weren't going to change anything, and we clearly have changed everything. So you're going to look so dumb, but like we can't do this yet.
that's the thing. If they change a lot about how the game actually is, then I don't know if they have that amount of time with the time they said they would take to just change it. Like,
No, that's why I say it's just going to get announced that it's delayed another 3 months.
I mean, either they
But yeah,
they they
so
st-
anytime you say delays, I just can't help but think of them fumbling through this whole marketing of that game.
that's a scenario where at a certain point you rip the band-aid off and you accept the fact that there's still going to be probably a couple million people that buy that game because it's freaking DC and it's Suicide
No,
Squad.
that's what every other company does, and they release an apology letter within 24 hours. It's like scheduled. You know, they don't actually have a team that
I
that
just don't think you can save that game, and I think you're wasting money by making developers work on a product that from the foundation seems to be just bad to begin with.
DC
Like
is just cursed at this point, especially this year.
Warner Brothers in general isn't in a
Yeah,
strong
Warner
position.
Brothers. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't get how those execs are still in control of things.
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly how that team's organized, but you know, they have other profitable divisions, right? They're not just making games. It's Warner
Yeah, I
Brothers
know, but
Interactive
why
is
are
a,
they? Why do they even still bother? And that's when I was.
they probably see it just as a branch of marketing for their properties. That's why James Gunn announced every DC movie is going to have parity with the DC games that come out. So whoever's playing Aquaman is going to be in the Aquaman game. And I'm like, that is a terrible idea. Timeline for game development and movie development do not line up. It's not like it's 1994 and you could put George Clooney on the box of Batman Forever on Super Nintendo. Like this is games that are decent take 3 to 4 years, 2 to 3 years at least. And I just think a movie matching like that just sounds like a recipe for disaster, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of recipes for disaster, go ahead. You can see.
No, I don't know what you're going with that. I want to see.
This actually might not be one, but we had a leak for the Lenovo Legion Go. So this is another device similar to the Asus ROG Ally. This is a Microsoft 11 device that will play Game Pass. It will play Steam games. It will play Blizzard games. It will play all those games. And people are wondering what's it going to cost? What type of power is it going to give us? Is it going to do anything different to solve the challenge of running Windows on a handheld? And starting off there, it seems like that is still no. So just as some background
Open
again.
check case.
Yeah. So Asus tried to make their own layered UI to interact with Windows to open games, and it still had the challenge of playing a PC game on a handheld from a UI experience, which is pop-up Windows alerts, notifications, system access, reminders, all that stuff. It just is hard to do because you have that one small screen and you have that limited input. So from what I understand now, nothing's changing. Lenovo might attempt their own version of a UI layer, just like Asus did, but I doubt them succeeding well. I could be pleasantly surprised, but to be fair, these people don't excel in making great third-party software. You buy a Lenovo PC, like if I did, I would delete all the Lenovo software on it and just have base Windows, right? Same as Asus. So that aside, what I can say based on the leak, and this is a quote from insidergaming.com, it appears that the Windows 11 device will be unveiled on September 1st, ready for a commercial launch in October, and it will launch at $799, princely sum for any gaming device, which is about $100 more than I believe the Asus ROG Ally. Maybe it's the same price. I forget. Could you look that up, Alex? Actually,
What?
the price of the Asus ROG Ally Z1 Extreme Edition. So it's got an 8.8-inch screen, which is pretty big. Um, it's the Asus ROG, the Switch OLED, and the Steam Deck only had 7-inch. So it's got a bigger screen. And it's the claims that it's the most powerful handheld device yet, sporting an AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor, same as the high-end model as the Asus ROG device. 16 gigs of 7,500 megahertz RAM and up to a terabyte of M2 NVMe storage, and a battery that's slightly bigger than the Asus ROG device as well. Where is the dip on graphics? So, if anything, this is a more powerful device.
I have the Asus ROG Ally. It starts from $599, and the more powerful version is $699.
Okay.
That is 100.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming everything you're saying. Do you think they're going to release two different models? Or do you think here's one?
So they could do like the Asus. So the Asus has two models. One has the Asus. One has the Ryzen Z1 processor. One has the Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor. And based on test data, the Z1 Extreme made a difference. I had the Z1 Extreme version. Again, I was playing Destiny 2 at 120 frames per second on a handheld. It was super fluid. Mm-hmm. So what I will say is this device seems like it's going to have more battery. It's going to have a bigger screen, and it's going to have just as much power and some more RAM. But that wasn't the issue with the Asus device. The Asus device played games great. It was getting into games that was the problem. And it seems like unless Windows themselves solves the OS issue to, like, they need to have a mobile OS, ultimately, some type of mobile OS. Unless Microsoft themselves works on that, it's going to be really hard for a third-party software maker to change how these games work on this OS. So It'd be interesting to see. Maybe it's got better form factor. Maybe it's got better buttons and all that stuff. But at $800, it seems like you're paying a lot for that bigger screen and that bigger battery,
Hmm.
which I don't know. You're going to see a lot of people enter this market, I think, Alex, over the next year. I think Microsoft wants that. Phil Spencer said that he sees this as an important marketplace they should play in because again, they want their Xbox games everywhere. And this is a way to achieve that. So I don't know. It's what I will say about that Asus device, and it's ruined me for my Switch. The speakers were so freaking loud. And now when I play my Switch, I'm like, this thing's so quiet. This is this like it's crazy how quiet my Switch seems after playing that Asus device. Um, to the point where I almost wonder if something's wrong with my Switch. I don't think there is, but it's just kind of just skewed me so much.
That's weird. When I'm playing my Switch handheld, it's usually because someone else is watching TV. So I don't even have I have headphones anyway. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever played the Switch handheld relying on the speakers
Yeah.
themselves. Or I'm playing a game where I don't really care to hear it, like Pokemon or something.
Yeah, try it out. See what you think. So I'll mention the last thing at the top here, then we'll get into the other thing remaining. Now that Starfield is out, again, if you bought the Premium Deluxe Edition, which I got the Premium upgrade, it's right here. So I'm gonna turn this on after this. People are playing it right now. Then now that Starfield is gold and it's out, Todd Howard has said that Bethesda 6 is now in full development. So it's in early development. It was in Bethesda 6. Elder Scrolls 6 is in full development. It is in
It's a Bethesda 13 in this timeline.
it is in early development actually because it was in pre-production beforehand. So who knows when this game will come out? Could be 2030 to be fair. Like if we're being fair, AAA games can take 7 years sometimes. So but yeah, so that's
It's been five years since it was announced. It was at E3 in 2018. If anyone doesn't know what E3 is, I don't either because it doesn't exist. But that's the last time it was announced. So it's been 5 years since it's existed in the zeitgeist, and it's going to be another 6 to 7 years before it even comes out.
I'd love it for it to be 7 years from 2018, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Like I
No,
yeah, I could see it being a console release for the next generation of consoles, and that might be 28, 27,
and they
which is
announced it on the last generation.
yeah. So again, there's there that's an interesting conversation to have in general about why that happens with game development versus like movies and all that stuff. But I, I, I don't think I want to get into that right now. Alex, last but not least, here before we get into what we're playing, which apparently you're not playing anything.
I
Uh,
said I was playing stuff.
yeah, we'll talk about that.
You
Uh,
didn't listen to me.
I didn't listen to you. Starfield's out. Currently on Metacritic for PC, I think it's standing at an 88 and
It is.
an 87 on the Xbox. It's interesting to see the diversity of reviews.
I've
Um,
seen two reviews that directly contradict each other, but they have the same score. That's so strange. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird to read
So
through
like
them.
IGN, for example, gave it a 7 out of 10. And there's a part of me that's like, listen, I don't pay a lot of attention to IGN, but I'm like, you're saying the Red Dead Redemption port from 2011 is an 88, and this is okay. And then IGN Brazil gave it like a 95 out of 10. So everyone, it's a subjective thing, right? What I will say, the take I'm taking away from that is if you like Bethesda games,
Yep.
and you like space themed games, you're going to love this. And if you have a problem with the history of bugs in Bethesda games, this game isn't bug free, but it's definitely the
But it,
least buggiest that a Bethesda game has been at launch for for a while. A lot better than Fallout 4. And I say that quoting Jeff Grubb, who did run into a progression bug that disappointed him. But at the same time, he said, this is still better than Fallout. Like, this is better than what I have played. And also Jeff Gerstmann too basically said like he's put 20 hours in the game, and again a lot better than Fallout 4. So to me, that's how I look at it. If you want it or not at full price, or you wait for it to go on sale. But Alex, I haven't really read into a lot about the reviews because I just want to play the game for myself. I expected Bethesda jank because it's the nature of the
yeah,
creative engine and the
yeah.
nature of
Do you know what you're paying for? at
and
that point. Yeah.
and it's the nature of how those games work. Like they're designed and built in a way to where you can pick up any will of cheese. Like there's so much potential for objects in a game to go in so many different directions. There's a natural um jank to it. What I will say, Jeff Grubb also said, because him and Mike Minotti were on a show talking about answering questions, and they're like, well, if you wanna just play Skyrim in space, play Outer Worlds. And
Yeah.
Jeff Grubb said, I liked Outer Worlds. This game is a lot better than Outer Worlds. And so I leave it at
Outer
that.
Worlds doesn't have the same. I knew people were more disappointed than with that than happy with it.
Yeah. So I mean, Alex, I'm sure you were reading a lot about it because you have a history of loving Bethesda games, and this is the first
Yeah.
time you don't have the ability to play a Bethesda game at launch. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on everything right now?
My reading through the reviews, I've seen people say there's a lot of depth to the RPG elements. I see a lot more reviews saying there's not enough depth to the RPG elements. The exploration is great. The exploration is boring or hollow or hard to do. Like general UX design for like the map and exploration is like not good. That can
Mm,
always be patched in later.
sure.
I haven't seen. It's weird. I always see tech showcases about like FPS and performance mode and all that stuff. I haven't seen anything about that in this game. That's not doesn't seem to be something people are complaining about.
and
But
and that's largely because
but
they came
the
out ahead of the gate saying on consoles this is going to be 30 frames.
yeah,
And
exactly, yeah.
so what I can say is people have said it runs buttery smooth, 4K
Yeah,
HDR, buttery smooth at 30 on the Series X and the Series S, which only gets up to 1440p. But they basically said it's running fine. PC,
yeah.
people were saying they're able to run it at 60 frames per second at 4K on PC, which is a lot. I'm gonna see if I could do 120 at a 1080 resolution. But I mean, 60 would be
That's
just
what
fine, you know?
So that's what I was surprised to not hear about because that's usually when games drop. That's all people are just like, "Wah," about.
Yeah.
I want my 60. But no, but I heard the shooting and everything is I don't think anyone's complaining about that. That seems to be a highlight, like the gunplay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it seems like mixed. I've seen reviews give the same exact score and they say the opposite thing. So I guess it's certain reviewers' expectations as far as what counts as RPG depth. But I don't know. But my conclusion was this sounds like a Bethesda game. Like you could these paragraphs or these reviews could have been AI written, and I was like, yeah, that just sounds like Bethesda. At least people are know what they're paying for.
Sure.
But yeah, they'll iron out some kinks if they have to, but you can't really iron out a short story or a lack of RPG elements if people desire more. So I'm okay with the fact that I haven't pre-purchased an Xbox and pre-ordered this game ahead of time. I'll wait and see how this does over the next couple months.
Do you want me for your baby shower to buy you an Xbox Series S
No, do not. No,
and diapers?
just diapers. No, no, no. I'll
Okay.
wait and see.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know because again, am I accurate in this assessment that you've played a lot of Bethesda games and have had a lot of love for Skyrim or Fallout series games?
Yes, that is true. I really like the the overall character of the Fallout series. Like just you trekking along and that little pit boy shows up.
Yeah.
I just like the, the character of
Hmm.
the Fallout 3 was like my first introduction. It was completely random. Cameron got it, he didn't play it as much, and I just sat down one afternoon and played that game and was like blown away. Um, so that and Fallout New Vegas, and then when Fallout 4 came out, I was really excited for that, and I was
Hmm.
also like that they announced it in like May and it was like released in October or something, or like March and August. It was such a short window of waiting. It was so cool. But, obviously 4 fumbled a little bit on the bugs and performance, but I expected that with after playing 3. But no, I'm a big Bethesda fan, and I think you called me when Bethesda got acquired by Microsoft, and it was like seemed like their games are just going to be Microsoft from now on because you knew it would hurt.
I
But
don't
yeah.
remember that, but I do remember it being at E3 2019 when they were showcasing that acquisition. Like it was the Microsoft Bethesda
Yep.
exhibit. and I bought you a Fallout T-shirt. Remember that?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And the T-shirt I bought me doesn't even fit over my one shoulder now. But that's a whole different story. So that's you. Me, I played Skyrim for 20 hours in between flights to US and Vietnam, and I was like, I'm good. Like that was fun. I played Fallout New Vegas, and not. I will say there's a part of me that wants to go back to it because I went in the Fallout New Vegas thinking it's a first-person shooter with RPG elements. That is much more of a first-person computer RPG game. It's not as fluid as a
Yeah.
first-person shooter as, let's say, a Doom or Halo or anything like that. So that
And the
shook me.
ammo is scarce. Like
Yeah,
it is more of a role playing game than it's the gun the bullets are scarce. They introduced a mode where you have to drink and eat constantly, and
yeah,
it's harder to heal and stuff. They made it more natural, but ammo is even more scarce
yeah.
unless you're
So
actually in a desert wasteland.
So when I played Fallout New Vegas, I immediately bounced off. I was like, this isn't for me right now. So that's my background. And I was not that, I was like, Starfield, that's going to be popular for a lot of people, not for me. And it wasn't until it wasn't until that Starfield Direct they did over the summer that I was like, oh, I think I'm interested in this game. And you know what it was? It was the gunplay. It was the first person or third person shooting combat. I was just like, wait, if you give me that type of game to play with all the other stuff, I'll be interested. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know what to expect. I'm gonna jump in tonight and get started. Then I'm gonna be streaming it tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. You'll obviously hear a lot from me tonight with my thoughts, Alex. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna play it side by side. I have my PC here, then I have my Xbox here, and it's cross console progression, right? So, you know, so I can bounce between, and I can even try playing it. I think it will cloud stream too, so I'm curious to see what that's like as well. Yeah, that's it. That's really it for the news. Alex, anything else news wise you wanted to share?
No, I'm going to some expo for work for packaging technology in Las Vegas in a week. But I'm going to use that opportunity to go hiking in the Valley of Fire and Red Rocks. So I had a trip planned to Utah in November to do some backpacking and stuff like that in the desert, but I'm getting in a surprise visit to the desert here next week, so I'm kind of excited.
That's cool. That's some good
That's my
news.
escape. That's my yeah.
Well,
It's nice. It's my reprieve.
Valley of Fire sounds like you need some special item equipped to walk through it.
Sunblock. That's
S-
it.
That's it. There it is. Life
Yeah.
is an RPG.
Yeah.
Unless you're Sicilian. At that point, though,
Yeah.
you should have a nice base on. Um, okay, so let's talk about what we're playing. Alex, for me, it's Red Dead Redemption. That's all I've been playing
I've
a,
noticed.
a ton of. I'm liking that game so much. Like, all I need in that game is I love how every mission has brilliant writing, and then I'm just shooting people.
Well, you're shooting the wrong people. I hope you know that.
That was three times. Three times. Okay.
A day for the past week.
Twice a day, usually for the past week.
You killed
That
your horse.
I'm so sad. I'm mad about that. I didn't show you the clip after the fact when I got my new horse. Like I called my horse after that happened, and I realized that that horse was actually dead and no longer with me. I was very upset.
That's
Um,
where it hit you, where you
yeah.
blew a whistle and nothing came.
Something came, but it was a different horse, and that was a special
Aw.
horse I got from the one mission with Bonnie, where like I had to get the Bronco that no one else could break
Yep.
in, and I shot it right in the neck, right in the neck.
In hindsight, that horse couldn't take a bullet. Like, you should have just tanked it.
Yeah,
So I mean, you would have just ended up in trouble later on in an important shootout. That horse would have went down with one shot to the neck.
yeah.
So
A big disappointment in that horse, to
we'll
be
move on.
fair.
We can
Yeah.
move on.
But yeah, I have shot a lot of innocent people. Now, to be fair, that other person, there was a kidnapping that happened randomly, and I see a guy with a girl on his shoulders, like he's freaking Jerome Bettis running into the end zone. So I start chasing him, and I see another guy running with him. And I'm like, oh, they must be together. So I take out my gun, and my gun automatically, you know how it does that auto aim, right? It automatically aims to the one
The
guy,
dead eye.
and I
Oh
fire.
no, I
No,
know
not
what
dead
you mean.
eye, but just like
Yeah.
if you auto aim,
Yeah.
auto aims at the one guy, and I fire. All of a sudden, bounty, loss of honor. I'm like, this is malarkey. That guy was suspicious as heck. Okay. This, and so yeah, what I love about that though is I could kill some people by accident and then drop 40
Just
bucks
go.
and I'm free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inflation really hit the whole murder thing as the American
Yeah, now it's like 40,000 to
mighty
get off.
expanded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which some people have that money. But yeah, so Red Dead Redemption's got brilliant writing. I'm in Mexico now. Um,
How did you like
the boat.
the little soundtrack on the way getting there?
Well, going back to my conversation about not being able to hear things on my Switch, I could hear it and it sounded
Oh.
great because it was a fun mission, but I don't think I got the full experience you probably wanted me to. So, but that was a cool mission. Irish, I'm glad I don't have to deal with him ever again, it seems like, because I don't like him. He was shot some nuns. So come on, man. Yeah, it's got great writing. It's got fun gameplay. Like there's enough to do in that game to where I'm not bored. The combat's good. Um, it's leads to funny moments. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. That's what I've been playing. On
That's
the
your first
Nintendo.
experience with it.
Yeah, on the Nintendo Switch too, everyone. So I'm playing at
Yeah.
1080 30 frames or 720 30 frames. So, and it's not skitching at all. So it's butter. Yeah, first time. Well, Red Dead Revolver. I played Red Dead Revolver, first Red Dead
Oh,
game
yeah.
ever when that came out on
Yeah.
Xbox back in the day. I love that. Did you ever play that game?
Yeah, I did. It had a like shootout mode.
That
That was
was
like
that was most of what the game was linear. Like there were levels.
yeah. Yeah.
Came out in 2004, and then usually at
Quick draw.
Quick Draw, which has its moments in the Redemption series.
Yeah.
But Deadeye is more of the focus. But yeah, Quick Draw was so cool. Like I remember finally beating that game when the last Quick Draw mode, and man, that was a lot of fun.
I rented that game from Blockbuster.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good game. That's based in 1860. So that's way before the Redemption series. Because Redemption 2 is like in the late 1890s, I want to say. Redemption 1's 1914 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I didn't listen to you. What have you been playing?
Sniper Elite 5.
I saw that. You're going hard on that with Victor.
Yeah. Oh, we beat it. We even did the whole killed the last guy. It's like 300 meters using just iron sights.
No.
He was scouting for me, and he was letting me know like every shot I took. He was letting me know if I was too far to the left, too far to the right. He was just binoculared in, and then we'd have to reload the level, wait for him to get to that same spot, and I would miss. It took like 20 tries, but he was just like it was like he was actually scouting for me. So that was cool. And then we did the whole 600 meters away thing. You literally have to wait for him to drive away for like sit there and just wait 5-6 minutes for him to get far enough away and then snipe him from 600 meters.
Was this
So yeah,
a
like
free game on PS Plus? No,
no, it was on sale for $30. I think just this week or last week.
Okay.
Like the complete edition came out or got
Okay.
released, so that's why it was in the little. That's why he heard of it and he was just like, "You want to play a two-player game?"
Love your
I was like,
Victor
"Yeah."
impersonation.
Yeah, Cameron and I played that. My brother and I played that. Not your brother-in-law that you text irresponsibly.
By accident.
My brother. We played Sniper Elite and Sniper Elite 2 way back on like the PS2 or something. It was so much fun because we would we would play that like sneaking around and doing spotting, and it was fun because we'd both be aiming at the same guy and we would shoot and we wouldn't know which one of us got the kill cam. So it was fun.
No.
Yeah, I played a little bit of 4, but not too far. I should probably just start playing that again.
Is this the game where if you shoot someone in the testicles, they show like the testicles exploding?
Yeah, I shot a random Nazi scientist in the testicle and got a trophy called Die Nusswacker Suite. I was cracking up though. I was almost crying because it was like the sixth or seventh mission. It's all night on this island. You gotta destroy these weapon silos. You're trying to sabotage the Kraken program. And I'm trying to shoot so many people in the gut. It kept getting intestines shot and stuff. But then I just see, like, I'm running down this road and I see this random, like, guy in a lab coat, trying to run up into the guard tower. No, there's no innocent Nazis in this game, by the way. You can't accidentally shoot an innocent scientist.
Can't hire them for your NASA program.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You're not going to develop an atomic bomb if I shoot your scientist. But I just see like this one guy run out of the bushes and tries to run up in the guard tower, and I'm like already scoped in, and I just take a random shot, and I get a kill cam, and I was like, dude, I think I got his butthole, and then it goes into the kill cam, and then it does like different angles of testicles exploding. And I was cracking up. I was like, and then like a trophy, the little boom happened in my ear, and it just made me, it cracked me up, the timing of it, and it said Die Nussfacker Suite. And I was cracking up in the headset.
Oh,
and I talked to him in the car yesterday. He's like, "Dude, you really got the nut shot." I was like, yeah, pop the trophy, and he didn't hear me say any of that because all you heard was me laughing.
Oh, that's funny. Prout to caption Prout here, he just says, "Oof."
Oof, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was out of all the people though. I mean, I shot a lot of Nazis, a lot of bad guys, and ones that were shooting at me. But out of all people, it was a scientist just trying to run up in a guard tower, and I thought I got his butthole. Uh, yeah. But yeah,
Talk.
so that game's fun. And now I was doing that, and then I beat the Pantheon of the Night in Hollow Knight,
Okay.
and I played 2 or 3 attempts of Pantheon of the Hollow Nest and accepted defeat, and just put that game away until Silk Song comes out.
Is that you haven't platinum that game, have you?
There was 3 trophies stopping me from doing that. One is beat the Pantheon of the Night. The other one is Pantheon of the Hollow Nest.
Okay.
Uh, oh, there's one more. Get 112% completion, then beat the game, and then the platinum. So it's 4 trophies. But in order to get that 112%, you have to do the whole game plus the so much more. I was at 111. I had to beat the trial of the full to get 112. That was where I stopped the game last time. Was the trial of the full? I couldn't beat it. It was end game,
Yeah.
like I couldn't, and I beat that last week, and that was a huge bump. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I never beat Trial of the Night either, and then I had to do that. That took 3 days of just repeatedly playing the same boss rush, Trial of the Pantheon of the Night. It took 3 full days of frustration and practice until I finally beat it. Yeah, the Pantheon of the Holy Nest is 42 bosses in a row. So
There's 42 bosses in that game in general.
there's over 60.
Okay.
The Pantheon of the Hollow Nest doesn't include them all.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you got a tattoo of that game, so I expect you to platinum it. I'm just gonna say that.
I know it's worth it. Like that's just it. Like as frustrating as it was, I'm enjoying the music, the gameplay the whole time, and I come back the next day and I just keep playing again. It's there's other games where I was just like, screw this, it's not worth my time, it's not worth the frustration.
Yeah.
But there's so much variability to the bosses and their like the tactics that they use. They become unpredictable, and there's times where I can no touch or no hit a boss, and then there's times where I'll die to that same boss twice in a row, and he's like the fourth one in the trial. And it's like that unpredictability is what gets frustrating because you think you're learning,
Yeah.
but it's actually a lot of it might be luck.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is different from like a Souls game where you are learning. Where like before you
Yeah.
realize it, it's like the wax on, wax off. Like I died 20 times to Slave Knight, but I learned his moves, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And going back to that shooting that Nazi in the butthole, talk about an Italian suppository.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I'm I don't there's really nothing else. I did play more Armored Core 6. I haven't finished chapter 1 yet. I haven't got to that boss
Oh,
yet. Armored Core 6 is like it seems to be dividing the Souls community where they're like, this is harder than any Souls game ever. And then some people are like, no, don't play it like a Souls game. Play it like an Armored Core game where you have to have a specific build for each boss. And then when you do that specific build, like this boss is more vulnerable to a mech like this, which and like once you do that, then you can kind of make it through because it's extremely there's people that have like literally beat every Souls game, but then have uninstalled and returned this game on Steam because they're like, no, I can't do this. I can't
because they fall into a certain build and steamroll the whole game.
Yeah.
Around that, I did the same thing with Elden Ring, or even most games. I dual wield the Scimitar in Dark Souls 2. I remember that, and I have never played that game another way. In Dark Souls 3, I used the katana or the samurai sword or whatever. I went through constantly getting those. I haven't played another way, but man, I couldn't imagine if a boss required you using a great sword. I would have been like, no.
Yeah.
Or you have to use dual wield daggers. I don't want to.
And to be fair, switching up your build in Armored Core is a lot different than switching up a build in a Souls game, right? Like you're investing attribute points, level up points to like carry this stuff. Armored Core is just like you got tons of money, buy it at the shop, put it on, and then there you go. You know, so it is a lot different. There's not that like RPG element. And
some people just don't like change though.
True, which again, from the beginning was very clear this is not a Dark Souls game. But here's the other thing. this has been more popular on Steam than any other Dark Souls game, not Elden Ring, but Dark Souls game, just because of the success of Elden Ring and Souls of the last
Yeah.
12, 15 years. Armored Core 6 is the most successful Armored Core game ever, which is good for Armored Core because it is a long-standing franchise with a lot of history, and now more people are playing it than ever before. And I want to read these thoughts from Quake and Doom in the Discord. He's also my buddy Chris. He's a developer at my DevHour team. He said the good first and foremost, this is pure Armored Core experience. Deviations to the typical formula are at a minimum, with tons of callbacks to old games. Might be the best controlling game to date. Armored Core has always had bad controls. This game has fixed all of it. It's very accessible. Slick frame rate, no drops. The game is gorgeous. It's lightning fast and super vicious. It is. Playing that game makes you feel like I'm a Gundam wing soldier. I have there's never been a good mech game that I've played Gundam wise that's made me feel like this captures what I want from a Gundam game. This does it. Um, there's the auto lock on's aggressive, so it's very generous, you would say, which is something new to the series that caught him off guard. On the opposite end, the missile lock ons are frustrating. And he just, yeah, so like overall, he's a big fan of it. So if you ever played Armored Core, you're gonna love this game. And if you've ever played a From Software game, this might be something to check out when it's on sale if you're not sure. Um, Alex, I don't know how much longer I would play of this game. Would you check it out if I sent my copy to you?
Is it a PS5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Chris's little review is actually what kind of just maybe or piqued my interest because I was most worried about controls.
Oh no, this control is
Um,
amazing.
but if he's saying it's the best in the franchise, you already had my curiosity.
Yeah. No,
But now you have my attention. But no, I would play it. I would probably beat that game if you sent it to me for sure.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to you more offline about that. Okay. Well, that's it. We covered the news. We covered what we're playing. We covered Alex's.
We covered what's banging.
We covered what's banging, and I will never bring up things that. If Prude ever says something in the chat again that I know could go in an extremely bad direction, and I'm about to repeat, I'm gonna let Alex find it for himself. Prude, don't stop being you. But I gave you that, Alex, and you did.
He has a point though. Like, are those little like snack cakes or is it a pie?
Lemon meringue cream
thing.
pie. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is now rated M for mature as a show. We talked about innuendos.
It's probably still teen in Europe. Still rated T for teen. That's just how that works.
Yeah. Alex,
in Japan, this is adult only already. This is obscene.
It is interesting, but you're probably right about that. Especially since we talked about like gory shots in Sniper Elite. That's the one thing that always surprises me. Resident Evil in Japan's a lot toned down compared to here everywhere else. But yet that's a game that doesn't exist without Japan, which just surprises me.
There's a lot of games that don't exist without Japan.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's a huge market. There's a lot of games a lot of mobile games are just Japan, like when they pit the Japan player base against the entire world, and that's where they go head to head with like.
Yeah, don't play Splatoon 3 when Japanese players are online. Never, like that's one thing I learned when I played
20 hours out of the day where you should not be online.
Yeah, I learned this while playing Splatoon 2. Quake and Doom, Chris, who just gave his remarks on Armored Core. Him and I played a lot of Splatoon 2 back in the day, and he was just like, this game is great. Never be online whenever the Japanese players are online. Never be online. Like, you'll just get demolished. And that is still true with Splatoon 3. So,
they love their games.
They love Splatoon. But with that, Alex, how about you sign off? And I'm going to go become a space cowboy.
Oh, I want a Cowboy Bebop game.
You could look into.
You've watched. Wait, do we want to do this? Have you watched Cowboy Bebop?
No, I bought it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Now I'm curious.
Wait, there's only 23 episodes.
There is a game.
Or 26 maybe? No, but I meant like you said you're going to go be a space cowboy, and that made me happy, sad. And I can't say anything more, but for everyone else out there, it's still hot. It's so hot out there. So stay cool, stay hydrated, and love your family and friends. We'll see you next week.
Oh, that was nice. That was new, Alex. Usually,
little little sprinkling there at the top.
Yeah, usually tell everyone to go do never mind. I love you all. God bless. Have a great weekend. And for those about to play Starfield, enjoy it.